Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Right, I wanted to do this video, and it was a bit of a personal one for me, actually, because I'm somebody that wants to get into air and understand air a little bit more, right? And I want to get good at it. So I thought I'd do a basic air tutorial based upon what I've learned so far. So for those of you who have been following my journey, playing Beyond All Reason on this channel, you would see that I've had a few games where I've played air, and they've been relatively okay. However, there wasn't any sort of there was a lot of learnings that I was taking from those games, right? And the videos in which I'm fighting the raptor, the alien invaders, and the barbarians, it's a little bit more easier, right? Because you're kind of taking things in a somewhat relaxing pace, and you can get into air whenever you feel ready and suitable. However, this is an actual match, right? So unlike other tutorial videos that you would normally see, where it's just a person in an empty field just telling you build orders and how to play and things like this, here I could get raided, I can get absolutely battered, the front line could lose completely. So yeah, something to consider. And I prefer doing my tutorial videos like this in this type of format, where it's a real game and you can see what I've done. So what have I done? You've noticed that I did my typical start, which is my two mexes. I went into free wind. Wind isn't the best here, and then I went into the third mex and started building the lab. Now I stopped halfway through and made a solar because energy wasn't great, and well, planes in general, energy is the main resource you wanna use. Now the first thing I've made is a scout, right? Because I wanna be able to identify and help the team identify where our enemy players are, right? I mean, the starting positions are always pretty much known, right? But it's to help identify who is playing in which lane, right? So we can see their top player is playing the southern section of the map, right? So that's going to be tough for us. We've got the second best player playing at the 10 mech start, so that's good information to know. We've got a slightly less experienced player here, and by deduction, I mean, even if my plane dies, which it has done, right, it was lightly shot down, by deduction we could tell, look, this top section is going to be where the other players are, and it's not going to be necessarily as strong as the bottom section here. So we've got a good amount of scouting done on them. What I'm now doing is this is the way I would like to do things, is free fighters, because priority number one when you're playing air, right, is making sure that you're protecting the team, right, from getting bombed and destroyed. I'm making free fighters. I know a lot of people, they just spam the fighter, but I'm making free fighters and one banshee. I put them as no retreat because they die, the words of Dolph Lundgren, and they're on repeat, right? So I don't have to worry about it. And I've moved them up here with a patrol command going down here. Why here and not right up the front, right? Doing it in the front it's not as beneficial as you may think. Reason being, if the enemy starts bringing out, missile trucks, anything with a little bit of anti-air, your air wall is going to get thinned out very quickly. Especially if your enemy air player wants to go on a bombing run, that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to ask their team to make anti-air units, and it will thin out the air wall. With this, as the planes build up, this is going to get thicker and thicker, and it's going to be highly unlikely they're going to get taken out. The only way the enemy is going to be able to thin out this air wall, right, is by sending in fighters, truthfully, or they absolutely smash the entire front line, which could happen, right? So why banshees, you may ask? Well, I wanted to at least have something that can take out any raid units that come in, right? It's gonna hopefully give us some level of, look, I mean, as I say that, yeah, look what's happening here. Now the banshees aren't going to be the be all and end all answer, especially considering that I'm playing with Armada and not Cortex, Had I been playing with Cortex, Shurikens. That's it. You know, it's a top tier unit. Shurikens are always top tier, right? But I wanted to throw something into the mix, right? Something coming out of my kitchen that's going to be at least be able to do something to help protect these bases, and in a selfish way to protect me as well. Like, I've built an LLT here just in case. I'm taking lessons from that late raid that they can at any point come to us. Now, what am I doing with? Well, since I was talking, I actually built a construction aircraft because I need a construction tower, right, a nano, so it can help me with building out the units, and it would help with economy every now and again as well. But also I want to get some metal energy converters up, right? And I'm utilizing my commander to go mad into solar, right? I would normally do wind, but because wind is quite poor here, right, solar is going to be the answer. I do not want to be in a position where I'm energy stalling, yeah, and when you're in air, that's likely what's going to happen. Now you might be wondering why I'm playing Armada Air, because I am an Armada player, and I've not really found a video doing a tutorial on Armada Air that I've liked so far, right? Not saying that they're bad, but you know, I've not come across one. If there are any good ones, please link them in the comments below, right? Because I certainly want to learn more. I mean, this is a very basic video on how to do Armada Air. So I've got a comrade that's asked for a transport, and that's going to be built up now. Just so I don't disturb the queue, what you can do is, with any lab, you could click on it, hold the Alt button on your keyboard, and then select whatever unit you wanna build, and that would make it jump the queue. But what it also means is it's not gonna then become a factor in my queue building where it's part of the repeat command, right? So I'm just getting my commander to help build this. Look, my metal income is good because my output is minimal. Transport is done. I'm sending it to my comrade who's asked for it. You know, assign the unit to him, so he now has it. Now our frontline team, I think they're doing okay. They're doing okay. I mean, the red team look like they have a bit more ground on us on this section of the map, which is surprising. I would have thought we'd kind of do better here. And in this section, I thought we wouldn't trade as favorably against Team Red, right? But we're doing super well, right? And Meow Cat Meow, he's certainly leading the charge. But as I make those positive comments there, Sash Corin, he's he's at our doorstep, right? It looks like he's coming down to start pillaging. Now, my planes, although they're here, I don't believe I'm in a position where I've got enough Banshees in significant number to really help. And that's one of the reasons why I built the Nano, is because then I've got something that's going to be constantly helping the lab build those units. I put a ping there just so the rest of the team is aware that we've got enemies at the front door, right, ready to kind of kick it down. The way I see it is, if your comrades aren't pinging, just ping, right? Let the enemies know. And pinging shouldn't be seen as a bad thing, right? I mean, it's not that you failed, it's just you're highlighting to the team that, look, maybe we need to jump in and help out in this area, right? Because otherwise you lose a lane, you could potentially end up losing the match, right, unless you can recover. So it's always worth pinging and trying to get some help in as much as possible. But he's done alright. Look, he by himself has fended off the attack. Surprised Sash Corin didn't really try to go for it there. Now I've got quite a bit of energy conversion happening over here. I utilized my commander to make a few more energy converters because his build power is 300, right? He can just get these done super quick, and that's what I wanted to do. I built another construction aircraft, okay, because I wanted to put a little bit more anti-air defense around certain places in the map. Yeah, just in case the enemy team go heavy into air. You don't know, you never know, right? Sometimes the enemy, they might have two players go into air, right? And you can be overwhelmed very, very quickly. So I'm going to utilize this constructor to go around, put a bit of anti-air here, 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 and here. It's not much, but at this stage of the game, if there was a bombing run happening, right, with my air wall and these nettles lying around, it should be enough to at least protect the backline players, right? And it's the eco player that I want to just make sure it doesn't get bombed to smithereens, right? So that's the idea. That's the idea. So again, that's not something that you would normally see in games, the air player doing, but this is something that I like to throw into the mix where I can. Right, so I don't want to be one of those guys that just does an air wall and kind of leaves it to there. One of my comrades was really kind to give me a tier 2 con, and I mean really kind. I mean he didn't even ask for metal or anything like that, right? But I saw that and I thought, right, you know what? When I get my metal income coming in nicely, I'm gonna make sure I take care of the guy, right? And this is really good for me. At no point now am I worried about metal stalling or energy stalling, right? Because I'm doing really well. Really well. Now, I'm going to utilize this con to build a bit more build power. Because where I've got money, where I've got resources, I want to be able to pump it in more. I want to get into a point where I'm building these gunships and these planes in like, I don't know, 5 seconds, 3 seconds if I can, right? And with some significant build power, I should be able to do that. I'm also now lining up a tier 2, and I didn't realize it in the game itself when I was playing, right? But that should be around the 12-minute mark, which is pretty much spot on. Right? Because around the 12 minutes, as I've been told, right, from various videos that I've watched and games that I've played as well, regardless of if you're playing air or any other role. Well, especially, if you're playing front lines and things like that, around the sort of 12-minute mark is when you want to transition into the tech tier above. That's when you really want to try and get into a tier 2 economy, right? So this is looking super good for me. I've got good metal coming in. I'm spending as well because these nanos are not cheap. I think a bunch of us are blocking the tier 1 con, so he's not going to be able to build this until we move out of the way. But I don't mind, because if he starts building this now, I'm not gonna have enough resources to really finish this in a sensible time. Now I've got all the nanos helping at the lab. Yeah, and look, I've managed to achieve what I wanted, right? My 5 second, 3 second build of my aircraft. Building in my next mechs. As he's doing that, and now this may not have been a good idea, right? But I thought I'm doing good. I've got nothing to worry about. I wanted to build a significant amount of energy storages, right? Again, because it's good to have energy storage in your play, but also because, again, energy #1 resource needed for aircrafts. Sashkorin has been pushed back, right? Which is good because you don't want him to start getting a roll on you, right? So that's really good. And it looks like the battle lines are in a better state now. It's kind of drawn down the middle, right? So it's gonna be a slugfest. Green is doing super well. Wow, he's got the army of pawns, and what is he doing here? Commander going in. Now he's gonna get caught. He's gonna get caught by this guy unless he's very careful. Is he microing? Oof. Maybe, I mean, no doubt he would have been hoping for a better connection there, right? But he only managed to degun wreckages, which isn't great. I mean, if you can get this lab, that's going to be a hurt. But if you can go all the way around and get this tier 2, right? That's going to be the big win. Okay. Now, I'm going into fusion territory, right? Metal still isn't great, and maybe this was a bit of a bad place. So learn from me, right? I mean, these only cost 1 metal to build. So me reclaiming these isn't going to give me much metal back. So this is probably a bad move. Learn from me on that, right? Don't do that. The reason I didn't want to start reclaiming my solar is because that's my only means of bringing in energy. So there's no point me trying to get metal and then I lose all my energy income. There's only a little bit of time that build time that I need to commit to getting this fusion up. And once this is up, I'm gonna feel really good. I'm gonna be in a great position. My energy woes for the short term are gonna be more than met, and that should help secure me into going to a tier 2 air lab, right? So even though I gave that whole spiel about 12-minute mark going to tier 2, I mean, I didn't really quite hit it. I could have if I wanted, but I made a decision of pivoting into a little bit more economy, right? What's my reasoning for it? Number one, it's going to help me build that lab a lot easier. Now I'm sending them in, now I'm building it. Like I said, that first fusion is going to be what gives me that confidence, right? And you can look at my energy income already, right? Looking great. Energy converters are all on, so that's really good. Once this is built, one of the things that I really wanted to do in this game is go on a bombing run. Now that's the part of my play that I haven't fully learnt yet, and that's what I want to get better on. I felt as though my air wall is looking really good, right? And that should be okay to cater for many attacks that come into play. So I want to get into a position where I'm building my bombers, right? Realize it's going to take forever and a day with the resource build power that I have. So I started going into a few more. Now you might be wondering, saying, well, you're kind of building too much. And that could be true. There's an argument for that, right? But the way I saw it is, if I needed some more metal and I was desperate for it, I could take my commander and just build more energy converters, right? Or, as you can see here, I've got the advanced con lined up to build advanced energy converters. So I had things in the works, right? To help get us there. I could see a lot of firepower happening here. This Tremor, one of my favorite Cortex units. It's just devastating. Devastating. That certainly makes any player have to retreat their units. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Sash Corin doesn't have a choice but to move them, right? And this is a very big army of welders. It's got some sharpshooters in there. And see this, look, this is what I meant. Look at this. Anti-air bots. Anti-air bots. Now imagine if I had my air wall, yeah, around this section of the map. Yeah, around this section of the map, trying to protect every single player. Those Archangels or any other anti-air would have started thinning them out rapidly. In fact, whilst this is going on, he hasn't really done an air wall, right? He's cut. I mean, my equivalent. He's just. I mean, wow, that's a lot of build power. He's looking a lot healthier than me. A lot healthier than me. I mean, he's eating up the lab. He's going into this. Got loads of build power. He's gone into advanced fusions. Wow. I think what's no. He didn't. He didn't even have the fusion react. I mean the geothermal. He's going into a bombing run himself, right? Going into a bombing run himself, and this is perfect. It's spot on. This is exactly what you want the air player to do, right? Now, he is a lot more experienced in the game than I am, right? So you could tell from the chevron count. But look at the skill rating difference, right? 34 open skill, and there's me with 12. So we're in a very different stage in our beyond all reason journey. Me and this guy, right? And it clearly shows in the base, right? We'll see how well this this bombing run goes. In fact, you know how I mentioned about 2 players going into air? I mean, if you look at these these planes, right? They're from Tortoise. They're from this player. Yeah, and this is what I mean. And I didn't even know in the actual game itself that there was two of their players that went into air. Right? I didn't even know that. It's now imagine I ate up my lab and I wasn't building any more fighters or anything like this. I could be in a very terrible situation. Oof! Ghost is here. I don't think we had any devices that can track stealthy units, right? And I don't actually build those. Maybe this is something I need to put into my play. Nuclear bombers are coming in. And this is Sash Corin, by the way, so this isn't even the other 2 players that we saw with that had gone into air. Yeah, this is significant threat. This is a significant threat. Now, I only really have my tier 1 fighters, but I've got a decent amount of them. Yeah, I've got a decent amount of them. Now, my colleague, my comrade, he did get struck. He got hit. He got hit. No doubt about it. And he lost a fair few structures. Was it devastating? Is he gonna quit the game because it's happened? Definitely not. Right? Raukoven is made of stronger stuff than that. But also, they didn't get too much off. And those 3 lynch bombers, nuke bombers, that would have been significant resources put in. Right? Okay, Sashoin is giving a bit of instruction to his team. Yeah, so it looks like he's telling Victor to start making units, which is fine. Which is fine. I mean, less people that go into air, the better for me, right? The better for me. That's what I would like. Now, because I had a quote-unquote extra aircon, one of the things I did do earlier, which we missed, I sent him in here because there was a lot of wreckage. I sent him in here to start reclaiming that so I can get some more metal coming in. Now I think we fended off the lynch attack very well. We've got red team now sending in some more. Clearly looking to make a little bit of a diversion there, right? Now, where I'm learning, I probably could have done better here, right? And utilizing a fight command rather than a move command, as you can see over here. So now I'm chasing these bombers rather than going into a direct conflict with them. Look, my 2 nettles, even though they're not the best, they helped. They helped with that. So when these bombers came in, look, I selected all my units, but I should have selected the fighters, right? And I sent them down on a move command. Should have done a fight command, right? Should have went into fight or F as a hotkey and sent them in there. Now, even though they made it through, if we're to be as objective as we can, right? Of course, there's bias because it's me playing and it's my team. I really don't think they got too much off in that bombing run. Tier 2 lab is still there. This lab is still there. Bulwark is still there, right? What? Fusion. I mean, Geo, still there. Geo, still there. My guy here, still living. Tier 3 lab still up there. Aphis is still there. I don't think they got anything out of that run that they wanted, right? And honestly, did I really lose that many units? Probably not. Probably not. So how am I looking to retaliate? Now, what's all that's happening? I've been cooking. I had 20 bombers being built. I had 1 Oracle. Maybe I should have made more, but I felt I wanted to get out there early. And I've got a bunch of fighters that I want to utilize to work as an escort. I don't want to utilize my air wall for this, right? And plus, my air wall is made up of tier 1s. Yeah, I want tier 2 fighters to protect my bombers. That is what I want. That is what I want to do. So we're quite solid. Oh, a resignation vote is being called. Come on, red team, don't give up. Don't give up. At least give me the opportunity to try and bomb you first, right? Before giving up. I've got one more fighter left, and then I'm gonna be in a position where I feel good, ready, decent enough composition. So how am I doing this? Now I've selected all my bombers and I'm moving them down here, right? Because I want to target the Geo. That is what I wanted to go for, because it was a known entity, right? There's a Geo spot there. 99.9 times out of 10, they're gonna have a geothermal plant over there. So that's a guaranteed hit for me, right? I don't know where they're keeping their aphises or anything like that, but I know where that geo plant is going to be, and that's going to give me a big boom if it's an advanced plant. I've got my fighters. They've been asked to guard one of the bombers. Now this could be wrong, so anybody that's more familiar with air, better with air, please tell me how better I could do this. Now for basic airplay, this I don't think is too bad. I had my sonar guarding as well, but what I'm going to do very soon is select all the fighters and move them up first, and that's exactly what I've done now. So as you can see, the fighters are moving much further ahead, so if they've got planes, that's gonna, before anything good can happen, the bombing, I mean, you know, they put the resolution in. You would have noticed, right, that the target didn't end up being the Geo. I changed it because I noticed that they've got a lab there, right? And I want to go knock you out. Hey ho, what can you do, right? But listen, this is a guide on how to do basic air with Armada, right? So I hope there's a lot of good learnings that we could take from that. So number one is build your air wall. Prioritize the fighters, build your air wall, build energy as the main resource priority, because that's what you're going to need, right? Consider throwing in a gunship or two in the mix, just so at least you're bringing in some ground stability as well, right? Build power as well. At least one nano is going to really help. And then try and do things that's a little bit more outside of the place. So perhaps think about going to bombers, tier 1 bombers, or do as I did, right? Make some more con units, put a bit more anti-air around your combat bases, right? Build up, and get into the point where you can make strong bombers, right? And knock them out, because Armada tier 1 bombers aren't very good. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I shall catch you in the next one. Peace.